Talking to strangers in English. Does that make you nervous? It used to terrify me too, but here's how I got comfortable. So, in today's video, you learn how to make conversations with strangers more confidently. Strategy I use, and it's going to be super useful for you, and real examples on what you can say. All of these are based on my own experiences living in the US for the past 10 years and also interacting and socializing with Americans. If we haven't met yet, I'm Juliana from English Flavored Chat. I have 17 years of English teaching experience working with Brazilians and foreigners, both in Brazil and in the US. And here we help you go from quiet to confident in English. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. In real life, conversations are unpredictable. You don't know what people will say. There's so much things going on at the same time. There's so many things you cannot control. But here's one thing you can do. If you know you're going to have a work event, a happy hour, a social situation, you're going to need to interact with foreigners or with English native speakers, you're able to prepare yourself. Let me tell you, preparation makes a huge difference. I've done that many times when I had to go to social gatherings, happy hour, work events in the US. And I knew I had to make conversations with coworkers or even clients. So I was always preparing myself beforehand. I want to share a personal story. And when I moved to the US, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have like a social circle. I wasn't working at the time there, so I didn't know anybody. And I had to go to social gatherings from my ex-husband, his family functions. And sometimes there were times that I was alone and I had to figure it out. I had to be comfortable and I had to speak with people. I start preparing myself. I start seeing what kind of questions they ask, how I can answer those kind of questions. The more I kept doing, I kept trying, I then eventually made friends and I felt more comfortable talking to people, especially Americans. So that's why I feel I able to help you. I have trained tons of students, not only Brazilians, but foreigners, how to speak English more confidently. I'll share here with you things that you need to keep in mind when making conversation with people. What is the context? To a work event, it's a happy hour, it's a business meeting that you need to interact with people before diving into the topic. It's a birthday party, baby shower, context first. What kind of language? So the context would be aligned with the language. If it's an informal situation, make it simple. Use simple words. It's a formal situation. If you're going, it's more like a business, then you know that you're going to have to adjust the kind of language you use. Or three, if you have to interact, if you work with Americans or you have to interact with Americans, making small talk is part of their culture. Even though you don't feel comfortable having conversation with strangers, if you interact, if you want to create a connection, and you will have to get comfortable just like I did. And number four, that preparation. I'll give you an example. And always prepare a few questions beforehand. How do you know the birthday person? It's a great way for you to break the ice with a stranger and to start a conversation. To you, you can ask a second question, asking where do they meet. Pay attention to what someone else is saying. And depending on the information they give you back, you can ask a follow-up question. And also give more information. If someone asks, oh, are you from Brazil? You say, yes. If you just answer yes, the other person is going to think you're not interested. So try to give a little bit of more information. Are you from Brazil? Yes, Paulo, but I've been in the US for many years. So let's talk about a strategy. Think of open-ended questions. If you want the other person to give a little bit of more information, if you want the conversation to keep going, ask questions that they can give you a little bit of more information. For example, what, where, when. So what do you do here? What department you work in? How long have you been working here? And so what team are you in? Where you from? Where are you located? We need a little bit of more help to grab our ebook. Bonus tip for you. As I said, always pay attention to what someone else is sharing about themselves. Some fact is a fact about their hobbies, interests, where they're from, maybe about work. Well, because sometimes if you know you're going to be interacting with that person again, you can actually use that fact they share about them as a way to start a new conversation. At the time I worked at a college, I was having a meeting with a guy who knew I was in Brazil before. Of the meeting, the first thing he asked me to break the ice was, so how's life in Brazil? The more opportunities you have to speak English, to practice and have conversation with people, the more confident you'll be. See you at another time.